Stutter, my brother, what's happening?
Hey, fantasy, in session. We talking touchdowns, receptions, interceptions. They got a ban the kicker, we need that correction. Swap them out, we flexing. How many of y'all you collect? We trying to get that winning record. Fantasy, in session.
What up, though?
We back. Oh, messed up the mic. Week 10 in here.
Damn, man.
What it is, hope is what it should be. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy in Session, the podcast. Today is November the 11th, 11/11/21. Make sure you make a wish out there. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Good jazz. Shit, what you wishing for right now, Carlos?
Bro, I ain't tell y'all about to shake
Happy Veterans Day out there to all the veterans. Make sure you like and
subscribe.
subscribe.
Gage.
Right.
Sure,
God
man.
damn, boy.
All the
fighting
best
wars and shit.
Yup.
God damn, boy.
Shout out to everybody out there. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We on the road to 200 subscribers on YouTube. If you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure you leave a review. All that good jazz. Tell a friend. Go ahead and follow the Real Deal Fantasy HQ. Shout out to my boy HQ. Shout out to being verified, homie. Shit.
Hey,
anything else,
bro? No, sir, man. You know we had a late start to the week, but week 10 is here, man. Let's get to it.
Yeah, for sure, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, you probably are going to be tuning out during the game or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? We keep our eye on the game too. So if you hear us a couple outbursts, that's what we're doing. We're watching the game also.
Players going tonight.
Shit. Let's give a moment of silence out to all the Black kings and queens out there, all the fallen victims, and the fallen veterans out there too. Go ahead and add them in there today. And we back. Bro, I don't know what is wrong with me, bro. Like for some reason I can't. It's too many leagues. Bro. Too many leagues.
Talking about leagues. Oh, okay.
Like
what you mean? Are you trying to go through your lines to make sure they're straight? You got to do that before we start recording, Gabe. Like, come on.
It'd be so crazy. Like no matter what, bro. I always won. It's always one league that I forgot. And it'd be like fucking starting James Robinson when he's not fucking playing, or some DeAndre Hopkins, or some bullshit like that.
Oh yeah, you did do that last week, bro. I saw that. I was like,
but I was gonna lose that shit regardless, though.
Josh Allen. There's a new sheriff in town in that league, right? Ain't it? Somebody took over number one in that division.
Did you,
Carlos? Hell yeah! Let's go, baby. Bro, that's gonna be a tight race, bro. We're all
everybody right there. Everybody that.
I play y'all again. Both of y'all.
You play me again?
Yes.
Oh shit!
Yeah, bro. I won't play y'all no more.
No, you don't want to play
no more. So
I got CMC back now. I'm ready to play.
Exactly. But, I made a couple moves, made a nice little trade. Sure, but wide receiver spot, I was kind of weak there with Michael Thomas not coming back this year. So we'll see.
Let's y'all ready to get into the show? Tua is out tonight too. Just heads up on the.
Well, he's gonna be the emergency backup, so he is active, but he's not playing.
It sucks to be him.
No other quarterbacks on the roster.
OBJ, might as well go ahead and get that out there. OBJ signed to the Rams. How y'all feel about that fantasy-wise?
It's not the best fantasy-wise. I would have preferred the other two teams, Packers or Chiefs. I think he would have saw a little more volume there. But, I still like this more than his situation in Cleveland because,
better quarterback play, better option.
Yeah, it's a narrow option out there. Van Jefferson was running pretty much identical routes as Woods and Cup. He wasn't seeing the target volume, and I don't expect OBJ to see that target volume that they're getting, but he is going to be out on the field. Once he's up to speed, he's going to be out on the field pretty much every play. So I like it, man. And like you said, like Jamal said, it's a better offense, better quarterback. So I think he'll be okay.
Speaking
definitely in real life too.
Yeah, real life for sure. I think this definitely takes Robert Woods. You know what I'm saying? Already in a struggling year.
Yeah,
he might be the third.
Well, he has started to pick it up, but it definitely lowers his floor and ceiling with OBJ.
The mighty Cooper Cup. I think he'll always be okay.
Yeah.
Cam Newton signed back with the Panthers.
He's back.
I seen you went to go pick him up and redraft.
Yeah, I've been scrambling for another quarterback ever since I lost Jameis out there. So
him and
any possibility at a quarterback
toward the end of the year, man. That could be heaven for
fantasy,
CMC.
Man, I like it for fantasy. You know, he's gonna rush the ball out there. He's gonna be better than Sam Darnold, so it's definitely an upgrade, even if it's slightly for the skill players. But I do like him as a as like a QB2, QB3 in Superflex League. I think he'll be pretty good because he's still gonna rush the ball.
Some other news right before we get into it. Claypool, his toe injury is not season injury, but he's week to week. Alvin Kamara is on the injury reserve list, so knee concern. So prayers goes out to Alvin Kamara. Please don't do it to us. Damien Harris and Robert
not another stud.
And Ramondre Stevenson look like they won't play. They didn't practice. Concussion. And another one is Chris Godwin is not practicing right now. So if you have any of those players, you know what I mean.
I'm keeping my ear on. I'm keeping my ear on Godwin. Godwin.
I bet you are.
I mean, Godwin always pull this stuff. Don't practice, but play.
Look at it.
Well, it's kind of concerning though because they just came from bye. So for him to come off a bye after a week of rest and not practice all week is definitely a little concerning. So another one.
I already got really going. I can't.
Give me some good news, please. But another one that you didn't mention was Naji Harris. He did pop up on the injury report, and that is also a little bit concerning
because foot injury.
It's in the middle of the week. So he practiced yesterday, and then he got downgraded today. So that's never usually a good sign. So that's something to keep your eye on. I think Balaj would be the handcuff.
Balaj,
y'all don't worry about getting him. I already picked him up just in case.
Yeah, I see.
For anybody else listening. Just in case.
I think that is the biggest news out there. I got anything else?
I just dropped Cam last night. This morning he gets signed. That's crazy.
And secret?
Right.
I really don't care in 1 QB leagues, bro. 2 QB leagues, I'm all for it.
When you're quarterback 2 of Jameis Winston and
damn, bro. Bro, I swear that'd be the worst shit ever, bro. When you drop a player and he becomes relevant like right after, whether it be like an injury to the guy in front of him or like Cam Newton. Like, damn, bro, I had this dude for free, bro. Now I gotta pay to get him if I want.
Facts. Like,
ain't got no fab, bro. That shit really heartbreaking.
Oh my god, bro! Like that's the downside of fab. Like once you run out of that shit, it'd be like, fuck, bro. Hopefully nobody.
It's so depressing, bro. It's so depressing, bro.
Hope nobody's seen him.
Nobody see this motherfucker on there, bro. Hopefully nobody see this motherfucker.
God damn, man.
Hope nobody see
$0 bids.
And then when you get outbidded on a $0 bid because somebody did it first, that's the worst thing.
Because it reverts to waiver priority.
Right. So it's, I hope nobody's seen them have 2 back-to-back good weeks. I hope I'm the only person that's seen this.
Exactly. Sucks we're in a technology age and everybody sees everything. So
Sleeper.
SOL, pretty much.
Shout out to Sleeper. Y'all got anything else before we get into the show?
Real quick, man. Do we have a update on the session takeover scores? I've been balling lately, man.
Last time I checked, I was still leading. I can go pull it up right quick. Y'all talk. Empty banner.
Ain't that new? I'm still leading. You know what I mean?
Empty banner.
No big deal.
You're stupid.
You want me if there's a new number 2? Because I'm still first.
Y'all put the week 10 scores in already? I know week 9. I was the leader after week 9.
Yeah, I put in week 10.
We haven't played week 10 yet.
So, so I'm the leader then.
I'm the leader then. I got to update and post it on Twitter, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, man. I will post it after the show. Yeah, I think I'm still the leader if the newest rankings are right. You want me to show you what you are? You are ranked.
Last
right
time
now,
I checked,
31.
Antonio didn't put his scores in.
I put.
So I didn't know if he did. Oh, you did. Okay.
You're 21 right now.
Yeah, I'm 21.
31.
I was 38 last time I checked. So
31 for you, Javar is 33. Tonio 23.
I done had back-to-back bad weeks. That's a bit.
All right, let's get into the show, man. Shout out to everybody that participated in this session takeover. Been a huge success. If you want to get into it next year, man, make sure you know what I'm saying. You know where to pull up at. The boys in the session. But here we go, man. Lions at the 9-point favorite Steelers with an over-under of 42.5 points. We got the Lions starts. I got, of course, DeAndre Swift. It's pretty much always a start, even though he is going up against the Steelers. I think he's second on the team right now in targets total because they really don't have anybody else to throw to. TJ Hawkinson, I got him as a start now. He saw double-digit targets in Week 8, 31 targets now in the last 3 weeks. He just hasn't gotten to the end zone, and that's why, people are pretty much down. Not people are down on TJ Hawkins, but what we was hoping for from TJ Hawkinson isn't, happening yet. I think he hasn't reached the end zone since Week 2. Those are the only starters I got for them. Then I got for Lions sits. I got Jared Goff. Of course, you're gonna sit him. Ahmad Ross St. Brown, 5 targets in Week 8 after a 0 target performance, but you still can't start him. I'm still waiting on that breakout. I think he's a good dynasty stash, though. I think eventually he'll be good. Khalif Raymond, only 1 target in Week 8 and 15 targets the week before. The Steelers are allowing the 10th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position, but I just don't know if he'll get the ball a lot. You know what I'm saying? PPR floors, I think he's okay, but I'll sit him. Yeah, that's all I got for that side of the ball. Then we got the Steelers starts. Of course, keep your eye on that Naji Harris news, but like we just mentioned about the foot, but of course, you're going to start him. Deontay Johnson had one of those rare weeks last week where he didn't see double-digit targets, only 6 targets, but he did catch 5 of them for 56 yards. He didn't score also, but he's still tied for most targets on the team in that game. They just didn't throw the ball a lot, so it wasn't like he wasn't getting targeted or somebody took over the targets. And now Claypool is possibly week to week, and we don't know when he's coming back, so I think Deontay Johnson to the moon. Claypool, like I mentioned, he's week to week. Pat Firemoth or Muth or whatever you want to call him, the GOAT. Let's just call him that. The next Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
I'm saying Don him. Whatever you want to call him, bro.
He looks like a beast out there, bro. If Kyle Pitts wasn't in this draft class, then Muth would have definitely been easily the tight end 1 in this class. So
that's what everybody
kind of got overshadowed.
Right now.
And to anybody that took that discount on the rookie drafts, bro, they're another 11 the position they're in right now.
Facts.
Man. 20 targets, 145 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. Now 15th amongst tight ends with targets all year, and tied for 4th among tight ends in the last 3 weeks. We was mentioning him a couple weeks before to make sure he wasn't on your waiver wire. Hopefully, you listen to the boys in the session. Then we got a fringe start. I think Ben Roethlisberger, if you're in a pinch, you could probably squeeze him in there. He's been okay these last 2 matchups. Nothing to write home about, but he hasn't killed you, and he played 2 tough defenses, the Browns and the Bears. He hasn't thrown an interception in the last 4 weeks, and only 1 300-yard game this season, but the Lions have allowed 2 300-yard passers this season. So I think Ben Roethlisberger, if you're in a tight position like Javar possibly, I would feel comfortable starting Big Ben.
As a QB2.
QB2, yeah, for sure. But even in 1 QB leagues, I think he's not going to kill you. You know what I mean? If you just have to have a safe person out there. Who's on bye this week?
We got Justin Fields,
Bengals.
Yeah. So Joe Burrow. As far as we can give a couple names real quick. So Big Ben or Baker against New England?
Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Okay, I think I would go probably just because of the matchup, Big Ben as well. Big Ben or Kirk Cousins against the Chargers?
Because he got tough matchup.
Because I think Kirk Cousins might have to throw the ball more. He's gonna have to.
But he got a tough matchup. I might.
Now,
the run defenses on both of those teams are pretty bad.
Yeah, and I don't know how the cornerback situation. I know they were dealing with injuries out there in the Chargers with the cornerbacks last week. So that's something to keep in mind. But I would go Kirk Cousins either way. And one more, Big Ben or Mac Jones?
Big Ben.
Probably. Yeah, not Mac Jones against the Browns. Definitely not against the Browns.
Yeah, I go Big Ben.
Oh, that's why OBJ want to go there. He was like, oh, damn. The Patriots played the Browns. The Patriots.
Yeah, that's the only reason why they was in the conversation, bro, because that's not a good situation for him to go. I guess volume-wise, I mean, but still, I wouldn't have liked
I don't know when you'll think he play. Probably like week 11, probably, right?
Next week.
I mean, he get a couple routes. Yeah, he'll get a couple routes.
Damn, they got Von Miller last. That's how much money do they have?
Bro, they are playing real life Madden.
It's crazy. And they must have like turned off the like names. What's the shit that you turn off, like the computer like smartness on the trade? They turn that shit off, bro.
No, pretty much auto accept everything.
Yeah, don't fucking decline my shit. Don't decline my shit.
I used to do that shit all the time when I was a kid, bro.
I just start throwing like first round picks on there because I know I'm going to start the season over anyway. Just first round.
But are you going to decline this? All right, wait, watch this.
Watch this
real quick, bro.
And if it get too bad, I'll just fucking go in there and do that shit myself. Fucking go on to the next game. We got the 10-point favorite Bucks at the Washington football team with an over under 51.5 points. It's a lot of points. I don't know where Tyler Heineke is going to get those points from. What's up, Justin? But
it's good, bro.
How do you feel about Tom Brady? If he doesn't have those, what's it called?
Appreciate you, Justin.
What's it called? Chris Godwin. How do you feel about that? Tom Brady against the Washington football team.
Chris Godwin. You just got to watch that situation, monitor that situation, as well as Antonio Brown at the moment. Both of them are nursing injuries and are yet to play.
Antonio Brown out the boot, though.
Yeah, out the boot. He's progressing well, but they haven't said if he's going to play or not. So you got to watch both of those players. Tom Brady, he has attempted at least 40 passes in all but 2 of his 8 games this season, and matched against a team allowing the most points to QBs. He's going to be on fire this week. So he's a great player in DFS if you spending the money because he's going to come through. Leonard Fournette last week was the first time since week 3 where he saw less than 14 touches. He is still dominating his backfield in touches and continue to be an every week running back too. Must start. They lean on the running game down the stretch in this game most likely. Back to the wide receivers. Like I said earlier, AB is nursing injury. Godwin is nursing an injury. Evans is for sure wide receiver 1 this week. He has scored in every game since AB has been out. If Godwin is healthy to go, he's a for sure wide receiver 1. He has scored over 20 points in every game since AB has been out. And the football team are allowing the most points in the league to wide receivers, which is around 44 points per game. So you starting off almost any breathing wide receiver out there. If Tyler Johnson, he's going to get the start. If one of those guys are out, I don't mind you finding that guy, starting him in the pinch because Brady's going to throw the football, and it's going to come his way for sure. And the kid.
Like it, Gabe? I like Tyler Johnson. If Godwin and AB are out, then I like Johnson. He showed us flashes when he's gotten his opportunity in the past.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And the matchup is very, very good against Washington. So I definitely like Tyler Johnson.
I don't know, man.
I mean, like as a flex play, I ain't say you got thrown as your wide receiver too, but as a flex play, you're in the pinch.
Either way, wherever he's in the lineup, he's in the lineup. I just think.
What about him?
We got a question right now. I'm gonna answer the rest of your questions, Justin, and we see you, but we want to get through the breakdowns. But since we are talking about Tyler Johnson or Dawson Knox, see, I'm going Dawson Knox here.
Yeah, if Dawson Knox is playing, I'm going there. He's been a touchdown machine throughout the whole season. Josh Allen loves him in the red zone, so he's more of a for sure 12 to 14 points. So yeah, he's a safer play.
For sure, 12 to 14.
12 to 14 is pretty high. It's a touchdown. Yeah,
he has to get a touchdown.
I think he has a safe.
I would go Tyler Johnson though.
You would?
I personally
he has more upside. Tyler Johnson has more upside. Brady has thrown the ball.
He has more upside, and the floor is pretty similar, bro. Because Evans is not gonna get 20 targets if it's no Godwin and AB, and Gronk is not. I don't think he's playing out there. I don't think he's playing either. So I think he'll see a decent amount of volume, and just like I said, that matchup is very good against Washington. So I'm
right, and they're playing with the GOAT
player against them,
right. So
you said you need the safer floor. The safe floor, I think Knox is the safe floor because the injury is to the hand, so it's not like it was a leg injury. He still knows how to run a route. You know what I mean? He was only out a couple weeks. He's been practicing. I like Knox. And if you see what the offense looks like when Knox not there, they had 2 bad games. You know what I mean?
If AB or Godwin is not playing, both of them are a safe floor. For real.
Yeah, I would prefer Tyler Johnson, but it really is like a pick him at that point.
Knox is like 16 points is like his ceiling, whereas unless he scored 2 touchdowns, Tyler Johnson has a higher ceiling. So yeah.
That's it.
No, for that side, I'm looking at. I got Diggs set starting back-to-back games with Knox out. Why is that in my notes for this game? But yeah, Ron Gronkowski haven't been playing or practicing this week, so monitor his situation. See if he plays. The football team is the middle of the pack against tight ends, so Gronk is worth the start if he's healthy. Moving on to the other side. Oh, Taylor. He has thrown 6 INTs in the last 4 games while averaging 12 points in that span. When healthy, Fitz could reclaim the starting quarterback role. But this week, Tyler plays a defensive line around 20 points per game to quarterback. He should have Logan Thomas back, but I'm hearing Logan Thomas is sore and still nursing injury, so he may not have him back. And Curtis Samuel's still not practicing. So the team will also need to score. He's a solid starter in quarterback 2 leads. He should rush in this game because they're going to need to score, have to make plays. So I don't mind him as a quarterback 2 this week. Antonio Gibson has played less than 45% of running back snaps in the last 3 games since he's been playing with that injury. He's only averaged 13 touches in that span for around 5.6 points per game. In the first 5 games, he was seeing around 60% of the running back snaps and 18 touches in that span and averaged around 14 points per game. If healthy, he should reclaim that role in the backfield. But this week, he's going against a Bucs-style defense. And Gibson haven't been really that involved in the passing game. Therefore, Gibson is a flex play. That's about it. You can even start somebody over Gibson, man. He's just not getting the receptions like we thought. And with this matchup, I'm still starting him in the leagues I got him, but
I got no choice.
Right. If you got a better person out there, then I will start him.
James Conner or Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, Conner for sure.
Damn, it's like that.
How about if Damien Harris and Stevenson miss, would you start Brandon Bolden against Cleveland or Gibson against Tampa Bay?
I'm going Bolden, bro. He getting receptions. Whoever gets
at that point, it's the same defense. So I think, and we've seen the Bucs give up some big games to running backs over the last couple of weeks too. So I think I'm going that. I'm leaning there. Ooh, that's so nasty.
If I know a guy for sure gonna get by around 5 targets in the game. I'm running back. I'm gonna go there over somebody that's gonna get 2 targets, and so yeah.
I see Waddle in this one, so let's get this one out there before the game come on. Waddle, Devonte, Devonte Smith, Julio, Darrell Williams.
Not Julio. I don't feel comfortable with Smith.
Darrell Williams? Is that Darrell Williams?
Kansas City, yeah, that's what he means.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be, but they say CEH look good in practice, so I would.
Yeah, they still haven't activated him from IR.
Yeah, he probably be back next week. I like Waddle with nobody else there, bro.
Yeah, I do. I think I do like Waddle the best here, bro.
It's Waddle Darrell Wilson for me. Waddle Darrell Wilson for me. But
Darrell Williams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would go Waddle.
I think I go Waddle.
He has a very high floor. He's getting the targets, especially if it's a PPR league. So yeah, I'm going him. Make sure you put him in your wide receiver spot though. If you play him
for sure. Also, do you pick up Zacchaeus or Eno? Like either or one or the other?
I would prefer Eno Benjamin. Since Chase Edmonds is dealing with a high ankle sprain, so we know he's going to be out for at least 3 weeks. And Connor, he has an injury history, and Eno's the second man in line right now. So
yeah, he looked good, and with that one touch last week,
he did look good. So it's
He been waiting to get on the field.
Injury away. So,
looking like he been waiting to get on that motherfucker, boy.
I would never feel comfortable playing Zacchaeus, but if Eno got the opportunity, like even if Connor doesn't get hurt, I feel like he'll still have more volume than Zacchaeus or value than Zacchaeus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I know we said Gibson was a flex play. McKissick is a desperate flex play. Well, without Logan Thomas and what's my boy name?
I don't know.
Curtis Samuel. Okay, without Logan Thomas or Curtis Samuel coming back, McKissick could still be heavily involved in the passing game. He's seeing around 24 targets in the past 3 games. So if Logan Thomas and Curtis Samuels are still out, I don't mind. You throwing McKissick out there in the flex play because he is getting the receptions. The Bucs are ranked 5th in the most in allowed points to wide receivers this season. So McLaurin is a must start. Curtis Samuels is not playing, so you can't worry about him, and you're not worried about anybody else on the team really. As wide receivers, I don't trust them. Logan Thomas, as I mentioned earlier, is still nurses his injury. So whenever he comes back, he's going to be worth the start for sure. But with Ricky Seals-Jones, it's still worth the start. The team is allowing the 12 most points to tight ends this season. So if you got Ricky Seals-Jones out on the waivers, I would pick him up and start this week. He has a good chance to get a touchdown and some yardage against this team this week. And then that wraps it up for that team.
I like it.
I like it. I like it a lot. On to the next game. We got the Falcons at the Cowboys. The Cowboys 9-point favorites with an over-under 55. It's a revenge game. We owe them motherfuckers. Let's go. Rise up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And hey, the Falcons, boy, they've been looking kind of good lately.
Arthur Smith got them boys playing, bro. I really hope they stop playing though, because
Julio this year, for pretty much the whole year, man.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up no more. But if they win this game, now I'm fully invested. I have to be, bro.
Don't do it, bro.
If they win this game, I'm fully invested. We can go on a 3-game winning streak if they win this game for sure.
I'm just going
to talk a podcast.
Well, hold on. We lost to Carolina. Did we?
You know what I'm saying? Like the next game we have are winnable games, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I done heard that before as a Falcon fan.
Yeah, there you go. He lost in the sauce. All right, man.
Saying, bro.
So, obvious starts. We're starting Kyle Pitts. He was like a cat. Like I can't believe he dropped that touchdown last week. He had like a long touchdown, like the first play of the game almost. But he's still he's like averaging like 14 yards per target, targeting him down the field, bro. Like he's gonna be able to. He has a massive ceiling every single week, so we're starting him. Matt Ryan, he's a star for me. Had a little bit of a shaky start to start the year, but he's been playing pretty lights out for the last month and a half. Since week 4, he's the QB 11, averaging 21 points per game. His only dud came in week 8 when they played Carolina, and he had his hand stepped on. It was like gushing blood.
Yeah,
so,
that was hard.
I give him a pass for that one. Besides that game, though, he's been playing, like I said, lights out. 4 top 12 finishes in his last 5 games. And so I think he's a great streaming option, even as a QB1 or as a QB2 in Superflex leagues against a Dallas team allowing the 8th most points to quarterbacks. And this game also has a very high over-under with 55 points right now, projected total. So it's going to be a lot of points being scored. So, and with the way he's been playing, I love Matt Ryan this week. Cordell Patterson is pretty much must start, but just to give you a little insight on how well he has been playing, RB7 on the year. And he's been extremely consistent. He's finished as an RB2 or better in 7 of his 8 games. And Mike Davis is getting phased out of the offense. Shout out to Gabe. I'm pretty sure you called that in the beginning of the year that this is going to happen. And yeah, I needed to see it, and it happened. So I'm reacting. I've been reacting to it. But at this point, Mike Davis is not playable, man.
I've seen him drop
out there. Yeah, so yeah, he should be because he's not getting targets now. In the beginning of the year, like he was getting more targets as well, but Patterson's pretty much taking over that whole role, and Patterson is getting about 7 to 10 carries a game. So he's been beasting out there, man. And we know the snap percentage concerns are not a problem anymore. He was playing 35% of the snaps weeks 1 through 4, and since that time, he's playing on 62% of the snaps. And of course, we're really dealing with his, with his health. They've been having to lean on Patterson even more. He's been stepping up to the plate. So Dallas is a great matchup for running backs as well. 12 most points to the position. So love Cordell Patterson as a RB1, top 15 at the least for him. He's a great boy. Don't have any
rank him as a wide receiver though. Like does that count?
Yeah. On Fantasy Pros, you can rank him as both. Mm-hmm. I usually rank him at like top 20. Just depending on the week, of course. But that is weird. Like where is the common point like for a running back and receiver, bro? I feel like you need to choose one, but yeah. Russell Gage is a fringe player, fringe start for me since coming back from the injury. He's shown us both his ceiling and his floor. Ceiling is between 10 to 15. He's got that in 2 of his 3 games since returning, but his floor is 0 points, which he got 2 weeks ago. So it just depends on how risky you want to be. He does lead the Falcons in targets, catches, and yards since week 7 when he came back from injury and when Ridley stepped away. And his matchup is pretty good too. He has 55% of his snaps are coming from the slot, so his primary matchup will be against Jordan Lewis, who has a PFF grade of 54 and allowing a 70% catch rate. So I think he's like a wide receiver 3/ more so flex play this week. It just depends on how what's your tolerance for risk, because he can give you 0, but he can also give you a pretty decent game at like that 10 to 15 range too. So like him as a flex play and not really touching Zacchaeus. He had 2 touchdowns last week, but he only had 3 targets, so don't really think that's sustainable. That's it for, and I'm not starting Mike Davis like I said earlier. He's pretty much droppable in redraft leagues because he's not giving us anything. Dallas looking to rebound from last week. Man, they had a horrible game against Denver. I don't know what that was, but I'm not overreacting to that. Hopefully, it's just a blip in the radar. Obvious starts this week: Dak, Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, and Cooper. Also like Dalton Schultz, he's ran the ninth most routes among tight ends. He's 6th in yards per route among tight ends and 8th in targets, and also has a 17% target share. Give me top 12 weeks in 4 of his 7 games. So he's been performing, man. He's a nice surprise from the tight end position, and also gets a great matchup against Deontay Jones, who has a PFF grade of 57 and allowing an 89% catch rate, which is crazy, bro. Do better, Deontay Jones.
Do better.
But I like him. Michael Gallup, he's kind of in that range of Russell Gage. He's expected back, but I would personally want to wait a week before starting him just to see how much he's used. Are they going to ease him back, or is he going to see about the same amount of snaps that he was seeing before he got injured? Hasn't played since week 1, but he did see 7 targets in that game before going out, and it has a similar projected total as that week 1 matchup against the Bucs. There was a lot of points being scored. Same thing applies to this game. ATL, Atlanta is middle of the road against receivers, allowing the 17th most, so nothing scary about the matchup. But like I said, I wouldn't force him into my lineup. But if you're dealing with bye weeks or if you're dealing with injuries, so that's how I feel about those guys.
One more thing before we also about this, James Washington, with Claypool being out, I think he should be picked up. I think he should.
Definitely.
He should see the Claypool volume.
He just seems like he's never really on the good side of Tomlin. Like, I don't know if he doesn't work hard out there, but he's had opportunities in the past and never really
just don't come through.
Succeeded with him. Yeah, so right. But definitely should be.
Pick them up though for sure.
Oh yeah, you never know. Why not?
That's all we have from that game.
Yep, that's it.
I'll just close my notes out.
Oops, that was smart.
Easy. Hold on.
Get it together, my boy.
Well, so are you not starting James Washington, or are you? Because I think he could see, especially against the Lions. I think it's a good matchup to introduce him in, and we saw him getting some of the target work last week too. So once Claypool did,
I mean, there's any other options, but I'm not really forcing him into my.
All right, Jamal Agnew or James Washington.
James Washington,
probably James Washington. Because I seen Agnew get those 15 targets and then do nothing the next week. So, you know what I mean?
But the next week, the whole offense ain't do nothing. And he was still up there in targets.
It's like a revolving door with these guys, man. We don't know who's going to be the guy from week to week. So
Javar must have got Agnew on his team.
Oh, bro, I got Calvin Ridley everywhere, so I got Jamal Agnew everywhere too.
Trying to do with Jamal Agnew, bro.
How does that correlate?
Oh, that was your Calvin replacement? Damn, that sucks.
You. On to the next game. We got the Aints who the Falcons beat last week. Shout out to them Dirty Birds. At the Titans.
Rise up, baby.
3-point favorite Titans. 44.5 over under. For the Saints starters, of course, we mentioned the Alvin Kamara foot injury, but of course you're starting him. Saw 17 touches last week for 104 yards and got a touchdown on the ground. Let me see. We got Trevor Simeon. I got him as a sit. In his first game against the Falcons, he went 25 for 41, only 249 yards and a touchdown. Did get sacked. Only had 15 points. There's just not a lot of ceiling there, especially against the Falcons. That's kind of a defense that you want to play against. He gets the Titans this week, who've only allowed one quarterback over 15 fantasy points in the last 4 games, and that was Carson Wentz. He had to throw the ball 51 times. Taysom Hill, I got him as a sit. We don't know if he's going to be the starter, what his situation is. Also, my sits, I got Traequan Smith, 10 targets in the last 3 games combined for only 1 touchdown. So he's just never going to be the guy out there, man. It's really crazy how much they want him to be the guy, and he just won't do it. Like, bro, I'm giving you all the opportunities, bro. This is a great offense. Hey, bro, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the Saints is one of the best offenses in the league, bro. We're trying to give you the ball, bro. We said you are the wide receiver too. We have not drafted anybody to replace you.
That is crazy. They have put a lot of faith in him, bro. That's insane.
But that is about to change.
Saints fringe players, I got Mark Ingram, 14 touches, 64 yards. 5 of those touches came on targets last week, playing 34% of the snap in his second game or his first game. That second game, I think it's first game with the Saints, right?
It was his second game.
Second game, yeah. Second game with the snaps, he looked pretty good, averaging 4.7 yards. I mean, he looked good in Houston with the opportunities that he did get. So double-digit touches in this offense, I think it's always going to be good. So you can go ahead and feel comfortable, on the fringe play, especially with no running backs out there. Mark Ingram is a good play. Deontay Harris, 15 targets combined in the last 2 weeks, and he's led the team in targets and seems to be Simeon's guy, favorite target after a couple big drops in the Falcons game. He did play the least amount of snaps, so that is alarming among the wide receivers, only playing 30% of the snaps compared to Callaway and Traequan Smith, who both played like around 80%. But the Titans are giving up the second most fantasy points to the wide receiver position, and he got the most targets, so I wouldn't force him in your lineup, but if you're looking for somebody, I think he has especially boomer bust stealing too, because if he gets into the end zone on the big play, I like Deontay Harris out of the wide receivers to choose from. I also like Marquez Callaway under him as a fringe start. As I mentioned, he did play 80% of the snaps, and the Titans are giving up a lot of points to the wide receivers over the last 4 weeks. 18 targets in the last 3 games combined, but he hasn't had 100 yards in those games, even if you combine them. The Saints will be playing from behind it, or at least they're expected to, against the Titans. So the Titans defense is giving up those points. So if you feeling like froggy, you can start him also. Adam Trotman, 13 targets in the last 2 weeks, playing tight end ever since Simeon started. Caught 4 of his 7 targets last week for 47 yards. He's getting those consistent targets. That's what you want to see as a tight end. And the Titans are giving up around 40 yards to the tight ends on 8 targets a game. So I like him as a fringe tight end this week. He's streamable for me.
Yeah, only thing I would say is make sure Ingram isn't on your waiver wire.
No, he should not be.
Kamara dealing with that knee. I think it's a knee sprain, a minor knee sprain. It said if he misses this week, then
Ingram to the moon.
Play, so, yeah,
for sure. I'm selling him in Sundays if y'all want him. What we got? We got a question here. Do I trade Dak, Judy, and Devonte Booker for Cordell and Kenyon Drake? Kenyon Drake's looked good over the last 2 weeks. I'm assuming this is a 1 QB league. He has Stafford, by the way.
Do you need it?
I would try to do it without Judy, though. I would just try to do it straight up Dak for Patterson and see if that works. If not, he did ask us another question. If he don't want to do that, then I'd rather the other trade instead, where he's trading away Antonio Brown and getting Eckler. instead of Patterson. I actually like that one.
Yeah, I like that one way better. If that's the option, let's do that one.
So I would do Dak for Cordell or Antonio Brown for Eckler. That's what I would.
Yeah, I want that one. Whoever is doing that trade, let me know. On to the other side of the ball, we got for my Titans starters, we got AJ Brown, of course, hasn't had less than 9 targets and has only had less than 90 yards once, and that was last week. Over the last 4 weeks, Saints are allowing the 5th most fantasy points to the to the wide receiver position. So I like him. I got Jerry McNichols, 10 touches in his first game with King Henry being out. Only saw 3 targets, and we expected him to get an ass load of the target share. Caught all 3 of them for 11 yards. He did play the majority of the snaps from the backfield, 45% of the snaps, but that was because they were playing from behind. The Saints are allowing the 3rd fewest fantasy points to the running back position over the last 4 weeks. His ceiling will be capped as long as Adrian Peterson is there and Deontay Foreman. He looked good last week also.
He did.
But he is a pass catching back, so if that's what you're banking on, then I guess you could start him. But I don't like him this week. AP and Deontay Foreman. AP played 33% of the snaps. Rushed 10 times for 21 yards. He did find the end zone. In the return to the Titans, Deontay Foreman had rushed the ball 5 times with 29 yards. He did look good, like we mentioned. The Saints are a dominating rushing defense. I just don't like either of those guys. Somebody could sneak into the end zone, but you can't bank on that. And like I mentioned last week, how do you say that? Is it Geoff? I don't know. What's that? How do you say Geoff? Geoff. Golf.
I just call him like Golf.
Jeff. Was it like
Golf.
Jeff?
Jeff. It might be Jeff.
That's a good question. The American language is so crazy. Like, who made silent letters? Like, who the fuck said that? Let's make GE space make the J sound.
I know that. I be thinking that shit too, bro. Like, where do these random words or letters come from?
Hey, no, it's a kniff. No, it's a knife. No, it looks like kniff to me.
It's like kniff. Boy, you stupid.
You fucking teach me that shit all year, then fucking tell me no, it's silent.
Wonder why all these kids be confused when they got to
and then now I gotta go to the goddamn slow class because you tell me I don't know that the K's supposed to be silent.
Yeah, and then when they do,
you said I gotta go.
That don't make sense. They tell them that it do make sense, bro, and they grow up like confused their whole life. I was confused.
I still ain't use no geometry. But anyway,
shame on you, whoever English made the English language
and geometry and pre-cal.
Shame on you for whoever just made school, huh?
No. Facts.
Geoff, I'm gonna call him Geoff Swan. Anyway, I mentioned him on last week's episode. After his 5 target game, he caught a touchdown. Last week, he followed up with 4 targets. Week 9. Catching all 4 of them, only 29 yards, but he did find the end zone again. The Saints are allowing the 2nd fewest fantasy points to the tight end position, but I just don't think he should be on your waiver wire. That's 2 weeks with 2 touchdowns. So, I've been hitting on these tight ends these last couple, this season as a whole. Just pre-call. So, listen to your boy. Nice. Friend starters I got for the Titans. We got Ryan Tannehill in his first week without Derrick Henry. He scored 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, which pretty much saved his fantasy day from being crazy. The Saints are allowing the 10th most fantasy points to the quarterback position over the last 4 weeks. They were allowing the 3rd fewest fantasy points over the first 5 weeks. He has thrown 5 interceptions over the last 4 games, and the Saints have caught 4 picks, so that's nothing. So, it's never nothing nice. But he is a fringe play with that Saints defense being so shaky, and I wouldn't force it. Julio Jones, he is back on the injury report again. That's so crazy. With AJC and Lattimore most of the day, Julio will be up against Paulson Adebo, who was graded a 48 by PFF and is allowing a 64% catch rate on the year. I guess I find a hard time sitting Julio because I don't have too many people to start over him. So let's go just off my team. Julio or Jameson Crowder. Like, these are some of the options I got. It's crazy that we even thinking about stuff like that right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I would probably go Julio
or Christian Kirk.
No, I'm going Jameson.
Julio or Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
Let's see, or let's go with a running back, Julio or Keon Drake.
Ooh, Drake. He's been involved lately. He's
been balling. That's 3 games in a row.
Yeah. I would go with Drake.
Let's see. On to that's it from that game. That's all I got.
All right, I like it.
All right, man. On to the next game. We got the Bills, 13-point favorites at the Jets with an over under of 47.5 points. The Bills coming off that stinker of a game last week. Josh Allen killed a lot of people's dreams. Hopefully he comes back better this week. How you feel about him going up against that Jets cupcake defense, as you like to say?
Man, Allen put up decent numbers on the ground last week with 50 rushes and in the air with 264 yards. But he didn't score, so that just really hurt his output, not scoring. Look for him to get back on track as the Jets are allowing the 7 most points to quarterbacks. Zach Moss has yet to practice due to concussion. If Zach Moss is out, Singletary would be a great start against a team allowing the most points in the league to running backs this year, and that's around 39 points per game. Singletary should get most of the rushes and all of the targets out of the backfield and put up at least running back 3 numbers. So I got Moss is if Moss plays, both will be considered flex plays with a decent matchup. But if Moss is not playing, Singletary's for sure running back 2. On to the wide receivers. Stefan Diggs haven't had the year we all hope for, but he has been useful. That should continue this week as the Jets are allowing around the 14th most points to wide receivers this season. Beasley has been targeted, has been a target machine since Knox went out. He is practicing this week, though. Knox is. And with Knox out, Beasley is a locked wide receiver 3. With Knox playing, Beasley is worth the flex play. And the same thing goes with Sanders, as the Jets have allowed 6 wide receivers to score at least 13 points in the last 3 games. So Cole Beasley and Sanders are at least worth flex plays. If Knox is out again one more game, then bump both of those guys up. On to Knox. He's been limited this week. He has been a dangerous red zone threat, and Jets are allowing the 11 most points to tight ends. Therefore, he's worth the start if playing. Now, on to the other side of the football, Mr. Mike White. Man, do not play this guy. The Bills are averaging 12 points to the opposite quarterback per game this year. It's not looking nice. But who it is looking nice for is Michael Carter, man. He has been targeted on 26% of Mike White targets. Even against the Bills, who are giving up second fewest points to running backs, he is worth the start as a running back 2 with that target share right there. With Mike White heavily targeting the running backs, the Jets having to keep run the score with the Bills, Johnson is around a fringe flex play just for that reason, because he's going to get some receptions out of the backfield as well. On to the wide receivers, man. I would kind of pivot from most of the wide receivers on this team. The Bills are giving up the first fewest points to wide receivers, and Davis may not have chemistry with White just yet, so I'm worried about Davis. I got him as a fringe flex play. Moore has been targeted in at least 6 times in the last 3 games and have played at least 50% of the snaps in 2 of those 3 games. He is also a fringe flex starter with some boom. Crowder is a worst of fringe flex starter. One of these 3 wide receivers will be the odd man out this week. I don't know who. So just roll the dice with all 3 of them. It's just keep them as flex plays. And that's pretty much it between those 2. You got anything for that game?
Nah, that's about it. I would definitely be a little worried about starting a pass catcher for the Jets just because of that defense for the Bills. It's been pretty lights out. I don't know how much Davis is going to interrupt Elijah Moore with his breakout. Like, he's had 2 good games, but that was without Corey Davis. So the matchup, I would prefer to sit them all until they get like a better matchup and we see how the target distribution is. But yeah, it just depends on what you got.
It's a fact. Other than that, I like it. On to the next game. We got the Browns at the Patriots. This is the last game of the episode.
Last game of the episode.
Oh, man, we made it. The Browns at the Patriots is a pick 'em. We got a 45.5 point over under for the Browns. Well, how do you feel about the Browns? OBJ at gone. It seems like Baker Mayfield
he gone.
Play without him.
Bro, he done got kicked out of two cities, bro. He done got kicked out of 2 cities, bro.
Yeah, and he was, and people were pretty much saying it was silly last year when people were, the rumblings about, Baker's been playing good, better without OBJ. We thought it was just a small sample size, but it's been 2 seasons now, and every game without OBJ looks pretty good, like as a real life quarterback, not so much as a fantasy, but it is what it is.
Need him this week to be as a fantasy though.
As far as starts for Cleveland, Deontay Johnson, if Chubb doesn't go, he did test positive for COVID, so he's on the COVID list. He is vaccinated, Chubb is. So while there is a chance that he plays this week, it's looking like it's a small possibility. So it's looking like Diornis will have the backfield to himself. And he looked great last time he got the opportunity. In Week 7 against the Broncos, he put up 168 scrimmage yards and a touchdown on 24 opportunities. Matchup isn't the best with the Patriots allowing the 10th fewest points to the position, but neither was the last matchup. And as we always preach in fantasy football, volume is king, and he looked great last time when he had that volume. So he's a top 15 play at the least, I would say. And he has, like, he showed you what his upside is with all the volume that he's going to get. So fire him up if Chubb doesn't play. More like a low-end flex, maybe even probably a sit if Chubb does play, since it's not projected to be a high-scoring matchup and it's a pick-em, so we don't know how it's going to go. Baker Mayfield is a sit for me in 1 QB leagues. He only has 1 game so far over 17 points and only 3 games with at least 2 touchdown passes. Last week was the first week all year that he finished as a QB1, and he did it with 16.7 points. So I think it was just pretty much a down week overall, but that just goes to show, like, 16 to finish top 12 with 16.7 isn't too impressive. Matchup is also horrible against New England. They're allowing the 5th fewest points to the QB this year. You can probably get away with it as your QB2 in Superflex leagues, but I personally would be looking for other options if I have them. I just think it's going to be like I think they're going to be running the ball, both teams, a lot this game. They have the same style of makeup, like how they want to play. So that's how I feel about Baker. The receivers for the Browns, they're also sits for me. You can, and honestly, when I wrote this game up, man, I tried to put them down as fringe, but I was having a very tough time convincing myself that I was comfortable with either of these guys. They have decent matchups, but it's just the volume of their passing game isn't enough for them to be super relevant. They're also towards the bottom of the league in plays per game, and so are the Patriots. So that just goes to show this game could be just one of those slow, grinded out type games. If I had to start one, I would personally prefer the upside in Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's shown us multiple weeks that when he does get the targets, he can produce. Last week he had a big play too, but he's more volatile than Landry, so it just depends on how risky are you. So wouldn't force him, don't like him, but if you need to, I would prefer Donovan Peoples-Jones just for the upside. On the other side of the ball, I'm not touching the tight ends for the Browns. Not really interested in them. New England is also a very easy matchup or very easy game for me. I'm starting – only one I'm slightly comfortable starting is Hunter Henry and Brandon Bolden if the running backs miss. Mac Jones out here alligator rolling people's ankles and averaging 13.8 points a game.
You heard what her homeboy said, Braden Burns?
Yeah, bro, he was going in on it, bro. Like, bro, that was a dirty play, bro. Like, no. And you're not good, so in fantasy, you're not good. So you're not starting him. Damien Harris, Stevenson, like I said, they may not play since they're dealing with their concussion. Human outlier, Jacoby still hasn't found the end zone, and he's only averaging 5.5 half PPR points per game. Not looking to start him. Patriots are pretty tough against tight ends. They're allowing the second fewest points to the position, but Henry has a good shot at a touchdown every week with how much they use him in the red zone. He's second on the team in red zone targets, but he's leading the team in end zone targets with 6, and he scored a touchdown in 5 of his last 6 games. So I know they're fickle and everything, but from the tight end position, all you need is a touchdown and a couple catches to finish as a tight end one. And Henry has chance as anybody else to do that. So I do like him as a back end tight end or tight end 1, maybe top 15, but he's okay. Fringe play. As of now, Brandon Bolden is a fringe play. If it's just him and JJ Taylor, I think he's almost a must play. It'd be like in that RB2, back end RB2 range for me. Matchup is horrible, allowing the 6 fewest, but again, volume is king. So I do like him. And New England is also 10th in the league in rush attempts with 27 per game. So they want to run the ball. They don't want to put too much on Mac Jones's plate. So he's going to see the volume. And he should give you a fantasy relevant day. So, and that's all I have for this matchup, man. It was pretty gross to do this breakdown, man, because it's not a lot of excitement in this game. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I went out there. I'm trying to find Deontay Johnson. He going everywhere,
bro. You already know, boy.
We got one last question before we get out of here. We got shout out to Ray Gamer. Make sure you like and subscribe. I don't think I've seen you around here these parts before.
Still Ray.
We got Brandon Ayuk versus the Rams or Hunter Renfrow versus the Chiefs in the standard league. So we're looking for touchdowns here. I think Hunter Renfrow probably has the easiest route to a touchdown. With Brandon Ayuk.
Touchdowns and yards.
And yards, yeah. Possibly competing with George, well, not possibly, but compete with George Kittle and possibly competing with Debo if he's going to be there. But if Debo's not there, I like him. But I think Debo, he's trending towards playing.
Yeah, he's not even on the injury report anymore.
Renfro is the safer play. He's scoring 12 points almost every game, somewhere like that, at least 10.
3 for 3. I like Renfro as well, so that's where I'll start.
You will. I think that's it, man.
What?
Okay. Zippy do that, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to part 1. You know what I'm saying? Part 2 coming either tomorrow, Friday, I think, or Friday or Saturday. I don't know what we came up with, you know what I'm saying, schedules and whatnot. Appreciate everybody for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. Go show some love to the YouTube, TikTok, and all the Twitter, all the handles. Make sure you go. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. I wonder what they got.
Shout out to the vets.
Yes,
who y'all got winning? Lions or Dolphins? Apparently, I'm a lot behind. I think my game is on.
What you mean? Ravens or Dolphins?
Ravens.
Yeah, I'm getting like minutes.
Taking the Ravens, of course.
Facts, Ravens.
I'm at 4 minutes left in the first.
Bro, they just put a line out that said Lamar Jackson is the second person in high school history to get his jersey retired, bro. The first one was Unitas. The first one was Unitas, but he the second person
in the whole high school.
Yeah, high school.
Why hasn't Derrick Henry's jersey been retired?
Yeah,
his jersey.
He has.
Why hasn't Martin Ward jersey been retired? We're never gonna have anything better than that, Mount Zion.
Definitely. That is true.
Oh shit, man. Let me find the outro. All right, man. We out. See y'all next time. Peace.
Fantasy. It's session. Fantasy. It's session.